everybody, and a home for Spirit of Metal, and we're here in Glendale, California with TJ from Inter Arma. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well.
Okay, so first question is about your tour. I've been waiting for kind of a while to see you guys announcing finally LA in a tour. Is this your first time in the West Coast?
No, this is our third time or fourth time.
Really?
Yeah, it's just been in the past year or two that people have started to pay any attention to us. Before that, no one cared about us. So now, all of a sudden, yeah. No, we played LA like 2 years ago, or we played in surrounding cities. We never actually played LA proper. And I guess kind of technically right now we're not really playing LA. It's LA County, but it's not
Glendale,
the city.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a pretty lengthy tour. This one right now is almost more than a month, right? And any major bumps on the road so far?
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
It's just a terrible place. I'm sorry for anyone who has to live there and is watching this. And, you know.
Yeah, what happened in Las Vegas? Just concert itself, or?
It's just a tourist town, and that's really all it is. It's just, I don't know. It's just a very odd place.
Okay.
Without going into too much detail, it's a
Okay.
very odd place.
Okay, and at the end of the tour, you guys are going to play MDF. Any bands you really want to watch there when you guys are in Baltimore?
The only one that comes to mind right offhand is Neurosis, who I saw there back in 2010 or whenever it was that they last played there. But other than that, I haven't looked at the list lately. I can't remember. I'm sure there's one or two other things, and the other guys are excited about all kinds of shit, but I don't. I mostly listen to like Van Halen and ZZ Top, so I'm a little bit out of the loop. But I know there's some other good stuff I want to see. I just can't think of it offhand.
Okay, so we're going to talk about your releases now. I had to start with Sky Burial. Like we were just talking, it was basically the release that kind of skyrocketed you guys. You put you guys really into the attention of everybody. So that release, every time I read a review, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's kind of impossible to put these guys in any genre." Is this your ultimate like compliment, to not be able to classify you in any category of music?
I don't know if it's the ultimate compliment, but I definitely take it as a compliment. I think it's boring when a band just plays fast or just plays slow or just, it's just loud all the time, or even for that matter, quiet all the time. I like the hills and the valleys, so to speak, of everything and the dynamics. I think it makes for a much more interesting listen, and not to mention all of my favorite records are records that are like that, like Zeppelin records and Beatles records, where it gets louder and quieter and faster and slower, and whatever.
Okay, so still talk about this release. When I listen to these albums, like you said, there's a lot of differences throughout the album, and it's almost like each song has almost like a life of its own. They're of course it's the same band, but they are different. When you were writing it, what was the interaction with the band? Was it hard to decide which path to take for each song, or how should it end, which direction you wanted to take?
There's never really any preconceived idea with anything really, other than I'll have a couple riffs, or Trey will have a couple riffs, or Steven will have a couple riffs, and then we'll just kind of get in there and work it all out, and wherever it ends up, it ends up.
Okay. And also, considering that how people could even put in a genre and how different it is, when you guys were writing it, did you think at one point maybe nobody's going to get this release? Did that ever cross your mind?
Oh, I always think it's going to go over everyone's heads. I'm always expecting the worst and preparing for the worst. Hey, Tyler.
Okay. So you did cross your mind that maybe nobody was going to get it?
Yeah, I mean, because I hate to sound negative and talk down about the heavy metal community, but a lot of people tend to be, they only want to listen to doom, or they only want to listen to black metal, or they only want to listen to whatever other stupid fucking genre. And to me, the way I've always thought about it is, if it's good, it's good, regardless of what the genre of music is. And I feel like across the board, not with just metal, that holds pretty true. So, yeah, I usually, not usually, but I sometimes think, boy, people are not going to know what the fuck to make of this. And our newer stuff is even more further right and further left. The heavier stuff's heavier, and the lighter stuff is even lighter and quieter and more melodic. So people are really going to hate the next record.
Oh, I don't think so. Okay, so talk about your latest release, the EP, The Cavern. It's like one song, 45 minutes. Was that the intent from the start?
Yes and no. It started out being a bit shorter, and I just kind of kept coming up with riffs for it. It's like, oh, well, this riff works with it, and this riff works with it, and this riff works with it, and it just kind of wound up snowballing, so to speak. And then even from the time that because we used to play it a long time ago, 5 years ago, even from then until when we actually went and recorded it, it still got longer in the studio because I added the whole electronic thing at the beginning, and then some of the guitar lead break sections I extended out so everyone could kind of jam and noodle over top of them. So yeah, it was always meant to be one song, and it started out probably ranging closer to 20 minutes and then wound up being 45 minutes.
Okay, so for the song, have you played it live for the 45 minutes? Did you do a set, as one set, one song, 45 minutes? Or is that something you plan to do one day?
Well, we were playing it more or less the way it is now 5 years ago when we kind of stopped playing it. But now there's violins, there's Dorothea from Windhand is singing on it. There's all kinds of synths and acoustic guitars, and just there's overdubs out the ass on it, which is my fault. So to do it live now, we could do it, but to do it justice the way it would be, a closer representation of how it is recorded, we'd have to get Meg from U.S. Christmas, we'd have to get Dorothea, our buddy John, we'd have to, we want to do it eventually, and we will do it eventually. It's just it's gonna be a little bit more of an undertaking than it used to be. So.
Okay, so comparing these two last releases, I'm not sure if this is kind of a do you agree with this kind of question. It seems to me that Sky Burial is more like emotionally heavy, and The Cavern is a little lighter in that, but not in heaviness of the music, but more on the emotional side. Would you agree with this?
Yeah, I could maybe kind of see that. And again, that wasn't really intentional or premeditated or anything. I mean, you could say from a kind of a more logical standpoint that since The Cavern was written 5 years ago-ish, or 4 years ago, that maybe we're just older and sadder now. But it's a progression between, and I feel like you can kind of hear that between The Cavern and Sky Burial. So yeah.
Okay, so talk about this emotional side. Your music is very emotional. If at least as a listener, I'm pretty sure you guys are emotional when you play the songs live. How do you get out of your concerts? Do you release a lot of emotions when you're playing? I'm pretty sure you do, but it's so intense. Do you come out completely drained out of a concert?
Well, I don't know if I don't come out emotionally drained, but I definitely try to give it my all, and I think everyone tries to give it their all at every show. I feel like if you don't, then you probably need to give the people back their money. That's just my opinion. I don't know if everyone in the community feels the same way, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely by the end of it, especially on this tour, because we've been playing longer sets. By the end of it, it's just like, all right, now I gotta tear down all of this shit.
Oh God.
Pack it back up.
Okay, so, but asking, like you said, you always try to give everything you have. But have you ever happened to come up with a situation that something blocked you and it couldn't really, in that to give it all? Has anything happened in a concert that you just couldn't do it?
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Okay.
It was just a perfect shitstorm of stupid events that just kind of mounted up, which normally I'm very good with dealing with, but and I've told these guys over the course of the last few days, I felt like Fat Elvis at the end of his career playing for tourist assholes in Vegas, coming in there like drinking Jägermeister and eating steak. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then I broke 2 drumsticks, and I dropped a stick, and it hit the snare and hit me in the face. It's just like, this is the icing on the fucking cake. And by the end of the set, I kind of thought the other guys wanted to play more, and I was like, no, I'm not playing anymore. I'm done. I'm packing my shit up and getting the fuck out of Vegas. This sucks. Let's go. That's the only time that I can ever remember, or in a very long time, where I was like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Oh, so no more Las Vegas ever again?
I'll give it another chance, but it's going to have to be under way different circumstances.
Okay, so I know this is a cliche question. I hate asking you this, but considering your music, I have to ask, what are your major influences? You mentioned some bands in the beginning of the interview. Any other ones?
That's a long list. God, I don't know. Zeppelin is a big one for me. Old Metallica.
Yeah, we heard you playing.
Yeah, I can play their whole back catalog. It's kind of embarrassing. I don't know, all the stuff that I feel like everyone generally likes. Sabbath and AC/DC and Slayer and Morbid Angel. I could go on for a very long time.
Okay. So a question about the future. You guys are doing this tour, then MDF, and what's after that?
There's a few things in the works that are still up in the air that I may not be at liberty to discuss.
Okay.
But yeah, just no tour plans as of yet. Just a few one-off shows throughout the summer, but that could change and probably will change. So yeah, just after MDF, kind of go back to writing, which is what we were doing before we left.
Okay, I have to, before I end the interview, I have to ask you. I hope this water inside it has a very big
It's water. You gotta stay hydrated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important.
Okay, and the last question: if you have any messages for the Spirit of Metal viewers.
Get off of the internet.
But watch this interview first.
But watch this interview and then go do something that's not on the internet. Go play guitar or ride a skateboard or something constructive. Yeah. Every time I look around these days, everyone's going,
yeah, true.
Come on, man. There's a whole goddamn big, gigantic world out there. Yeah. So after this interview, go do something outside.
Yeah, very true. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.